Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. It is a Thursday edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed on said Thursday morning. The big start. Last week we got the start of the college football season. Tonight we get some top 25 action. We had some top 25 action last week, but this week we get more, and it comes your way tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Florida and Utah meeting on ESPN, the SEC's second team in action. And the Utah Utes last night, Pete Thamel reporting, in case you, I don't know, have a little bit of money on this one, reporting that Cam Rising is doubtful for tonight's game with Florida, not expected to play. He's 18-6 as a starter, fifth most wins by any quarterback in Utah history. He's thrown for 5,572 yards, 46 touchdowns. Utah's won back-to-back Pac-12 titles. But tonight, when they take on the Florida Gators and Graham Mertz, Billy Napier, not expected to play. So it could change the outcome. Does it change your outcome at all in that one?
It's hard to say. I mean, Cam Rising is certainly a really good college player, and he's been as productive as any Utah quarterback in a long time, probably since his former OC Brian Johnson, and before he went to the NFL. And he's the QB that beat Alabama in the 2008 Sugar Bowl / 2000 after the 2008 season. I guess maybe you call it the 09 one. But I mean, I just got this feeling that people have been underestimating Graham Mertz, and a lot of people keep focusing on Wisconsin and all this kind of stuff. And, talking to Josh Pate this week on the show and talking about how the previous staff, Paul Christ and everybody admitted they thought they misused him and didn't develop him properly. And then I think Florida's skill talent is a little bit better than people think. The running backs, Johnson and ETN, and then also, Ricky Pearsall and that wide receiver group. Yep. I mean, I think it's going to be a really close game, but I would not be shocked if Florida came out with one of these 27-24 type games. And basically, I think it's a 2.5-point spread still or something to that effect. But that's basically what people were thinking. It's going to be a really close
4.5 Utah.
So it's back up to 4.5.
Yeah,
okay.
4.5 Utah with a 44.5 over-under.
Well, that's about, in the ballpark.
No.
So I guess they're thinking more of a 24-20 type game and Utah finding a way to win. But, and then I think the Gator D is going to be better than it was a year ago. Austin Armstrong, I think, is a really good young coordinator and a good hire by Billy. So I'm going to go, 27-24 Gators and be an SEC homer here and hope they beat the Pac-2. 4.
All right. There you go. That is going to get you started tonight. Hey, we do have some in-state football being played tonight as well. Samford going to be at home. Their home opener. That's going to be on ESPN Plus.
I think they're ranked 8th in the country because during the UNA game they were talking about the top 10 FCS teams, and I believe Samford, coming off their best year in school history, I believe they made the quarterfinals under Chris Hatcher. They're ranked 8th, I believe. So they are supposed to have another good team.
Oh, let's see here.
Now that may have been the ESPN poll, but
according to the NCAA, the stats perform FCS top 25. They're ranked ninth to start the year. South Dakota State,
the defending champs who beat North Dakota State.
North Dakota State number 2. But Samford, the Bulldogs, ranked number 9 to start the year. You also get UConn and NC State tonight, 6:30. Minnesota, Nebraska, Big Ten football, 7 o'clock tonight.
That still don't sound right. I'm sorry, it's never sounded right. I know
Nebraska,
they're in the Midwest,
Minnesota.
but Nebraska and the Big Ten has never sounded right.
I tell you
And
what,
we know they're going to
Nebraska-
be minus a tight end.
Yeah, Nebraska stole the show, though, last night. Over 90,000 people
At a
attended the
volleyball
game last night.
Now,
One of the
where was
coolest-
that at? Now, it was outdoors, right?
They played it inside their football stadium.
Oh.
They sold it out.
Okay, yeah, but it was outside.
It was outside, yeah. One of the coolest things. If you've not seen video of it, it's awesome.
I have not, but I saw it all over social media.
Yeah,
but
they treated the volleyball team like the football team on
Yeah.
the intro, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
The SEC
was that
will
their first
also-
match? That wasn't their first match of the year, though, because it's already started.
No,
No, because, Alabama's already started. We
Yeah,
had
it
talked to
wasn't their
UNA.
first
UNA had
one.
already started,
But you get Missouri and South Dakota tonight on the SEC Network, 7 o'clock.
Right.
So you can flip between Florida and Utah and Missouri and South Dakota if you would like to.
But that's South Dakota, not South Dakota State.
Not South Dakota State. Gus Malzahn in action tonight, 6 o'clock, FS1, UCF, and Kent State.
Well, on a recruiting blitz yesterday, I connected with Irish Jofel, and I asked him about the hurricane because, he had been shopping, I guess, just in case, and he came upon somebody else's inside his cart. It's somebody else's five item list for the hurricane. And he told me, though, that it looked like it was going to be, I guess, east of Tallahassee. They were going to miss the majority of it. And then Orlando looked like it was going to be unscathed. So
Good.
I would think that this game tonight will go off without a hitch. And I think the one on Sunday at
Well,
Camping
most
World
definitely,
Stadium,
yeah.
where the LSU Tigers last played the Cheez-It Bowl, and we saw Brian Kelly eat Cheez-Its off the ground.
Well, we got some LSU news here later in the show as well. But last night, Nick Saban doing what he does each and every week on game week, that is meeting with the media. And one of the things that was brought up yesterday was penalties. Remember last season, Alabama, 103 penalties, 7.9 per game, fourth worst in the country, second worst in the SEC, only behind, you know who that was only behind? Tennessee.
Yeah.
6 penalties in their season opener last year. Nick Saban addressing the yellow flag in yesterday's press conference.
Eliminating penalties has been something for our entire team. We got way too many penalties last year. We got lots of penalties on the line of scrimmage. We got a lot of penalties on offense on the line of scrimmage, a lot of pre-snap penalties, which those are, sort of lack of discipline things. So we've tried to do things in practice to get guys to play with more discipline, to watch the ball, not jump off sides, not have illegal formations, have better communication with the quarterback so we don't have false starts. And I think we made some progress in those areas. Every day we track every penalty. And if anybody got more than one penalty, their whole group is affected in some way. And I point out the fact that this guy got more than one penalty today. And so we'll see if it works, but heaven knows that's something that we have paid great attention to. And sometimes you wonder if you pay so much attention to something, is that really helping it or hurting it? I don't know. If you tell somebody they're not very tough enough, then they start thinking they're not very tough. So hopefully we're not telling anybody that, and we're telling everybody they can be disciplined enough to not get penalties.
There you go. Penalties brought up yesterday.
Yeah, I've been bringing up that point. They've got refs at every practice, and the position groups have to do, like either extra running or up downs, push ups
for each penalty.
For each penalty, and so being at the scrimmage, so the second one, there was a couple penalties. I remember a horse collar, but there wasn't a lot, especially the holding kind, and a lot of pass interference stuff. So. Hopefully they're working on it, but there was a lot of undisciplined penalties. I remember all of them in the Texas game, and Alabama had them stopped one time. Will Anderson right in front of the ref, just, after the whistle, knocks the guy to the ground, and you're like, Will, what are you doing? That's right in front of the official. You can't touch the guy. You could thud him and hold him up, but you just knocked him on his keister. And so that gives you 15 yards, and then Texas goes down and get a field goal. And if you remember, that was a low-scoring game.
Right.
That basically kept Texas in the ball game. And so you don't need to be keeping them in the game. And that's basically what Alabama did starting in that Texas game. And really the rest of the season, it set the tone. They weren't very disciplined, and they got a ton of penalties.
All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. You can be a part of the show, be a part of the program this morning. We will talk some more Alabama football as they continue to get ready for Middle Tennessee. We will talk some Auburn football throughout the show. We've got some other little things to lend to your ear. Jeff from the Borough, though, with us this morning. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning, Jeff.
I was going to say it was a great day for volleyball in that state, but women's sports.
Oh, it was. It was probably one of the coolest things that I've seen. The walkout intro was cool. The everything was cool. I mean, to see over 90,000 people watch a volleyball match, it set the world record for most attended women's sport in the history of everything.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the coolest things that I've seen.
Well, it's just like your fan said. I mean, like that coach said. I mean, in that state, it's all levels. It's NAI, it's the 1, 2, and 3. It's club. In that state level, no other school could probably do that in volleyball. And that attendance or anything else. Like the fan said, they talk strategy. They talk if you're going to play a 5-1 or 6-2. What are you going to play? Are you going to have any rotations? You got who's your outside hitter, who's your setters, all that stuff. That's what they talk about. That's why it's a big time sport in Nebraska. It's better than football now as far as winning and all that stuff. That guy's in the Hall of Fame at Coach Cook. He's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's won multiple championships and all that stuff. And those schools, the SEC talks about being the best in everything. So they ain't the best in volleyball. I got news for you. The Big Ten is, or Big whatever it is. They like you four, only 2 teams. The SEC's got volleyball. The rest of them, Texas and Oklahoma. Texas has one they joined, but the rest of them don't have none. So I mean, I just said that nobody can do it like them. It's a great day for women's sports. But y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the game on Saturday. Hope the Stockton keep his championship squirm on that sideline before halftime. Hang in there, guys.
45-0.
45-0.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I mean, maybe Middle Tennessee stays in it, but I think Alabama puts it away by halftime, and I think they're on cruise control. But that's just me. We'll see. I know they won 8 games. Stock's been there a long time. They've got a lot of starters back on both sides of the ball, so they're experienced. They may give Alabama all they want. We'll see. But I like the Crimson Tide in this game. I like them to cover.
All right, 256-576-4977. That's how you can
This
be a
ain't
part
volleyball.
of the show.
If it was, Alabama would be in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
North Alabama almost would have gotten it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah.
We got to get a break in. When we come back, we will indeed talk some more SEC football and start counting down the clock to high school football. We got high school football tonight as well over at the Milton Frank Stadium, the renovated Milton Frank Stadium. We'll talk all that and more when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a serious accident working at Patton and Fremont. Lots of blockage there, and HPD's doing a full investigation. 72 eastbound at Moore's Mill, and Sparkman and Pulaski Pike are both no-injury accidents working. Someone dies from heart disease every 36 seconds. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue can help you keep your heart healthy. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye's Skywatch Traffic Center.
Valley Equipment Rental has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year and is adding more and more equipment to their already impressive fleet. Valley is a locally owned family equipment rental business serving the entire Tennessee Valley. They concentrate on the local contractors, building repeat business and specializing in long-term rentals for their local contractors. The benefit of long-term rental is that they stay on top of their assets. If something you own goes down in a field, you have to stop and fix it before you can finish the job. With Valley Equipment Rental, they will fix it on site site or bring you another machine while that one's being fixed. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and asking for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
You're starting to see more and more of them on the road in Huntsville, Madison, and North Alabama. And we've got them in stock, on the ground, ready for you to test drive. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm talking about the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. Come experience the torque, exhilaration, and technology of our all-electric 2023 Mach-E, and you'll see why folks are leasing and buying them as fast as we can get them. And that's not to mention you may qualify for a $7,500 tax credit. Woody Anderson Ford is offering financing as low as 2.9% for 60 months, plus $3,000 in bonus cash on the 2023 Mustang Mach-E. Or you can lease one for $449 a month. And we've also got 23 Bronco Sports for $399 a month. These are 36-month leases with $52.71 on Mach-E, $37.09 on Bronco Sport due at signing. 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. These offers end September 4th. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come on in today. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air back in studio with us. And Thomas, those temperatures in the summertime starting to rise once again. You want to make sure you're not left out in the heat. You want some cold AC, give Talent Heating and Air a call.
That's right. If you give us a call, we can generally get out there the same day. So we pride ourselves on the same day service.
And what's that number?
256-503-4490.
And if those AC units are giving you the blues and you've already called someone else, never fear, give Talent Heating and Air a call because you guys can still come out.
That's right. We do free second opinions on major repairs and quotes. A lot of times we save our customers thousands of dollars and additionally get their units repaired before the other guy could even get started.
And that number for Talent Heating and Air is?
256-503-4490.
And if you can't give Talent Heating and Air a call, you can find them online at?
TalentHVAC.com.
Schedule all your appointment service calls there. Talent Heating and Air. Give them a call or find them online today. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. When you watch the Florida-Utah game tonight, Graham Mertz will be under center for the Florida Gators. Graham Mertz is a transfer portal addition for the Florida Gators. When you sit down to watch a lot of college football this Saturday, you might be surprised as to some of the bigger schools who will announce their starting quarterbacks or may have already announced their starting quarterbacks on where they have come from. There's a lot of quarterbacks this year that are starting that have come via the transfer portal. We know Sam Hartman at Notre Dame. We watched him against Navy. When Kentucky takes to the field for the very first time this year, and Kentucky will take on Ball State on Saturday, 11 o'clock on the SEC Network. Devin Leary, who transferred from NC State, will be the starting quarterback. So Devin Leary comes from NC State. You got Graham Mertz at Florida. Peyton Thorne will be starting at Auburn. Remember Hudson Card?
Yep, he's at Purdue, right?
He is at Purdue. He lost the starting job to Quinn Ewers.
We could start this a segment just called Name That QB and where the hell he ended up.
Well, and some of them, we're going to go, this is I saw this. This is interesting. Some of these quarterbacks that got starting jobs now have not been to one school, two schools, but they've been to three schools now along this journey.
Can't none of them top JT Daniels, man. I think he's starting against Texas at the third different school. That's a record.
Remember Luke Altmaier?
Yeah, because he was at Ole Miss.
He was at Ole Miss. Lost the job to Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Luke Altmaier has landed at Illinois as the starting quarterback.
So he's at his second school.
He's at his second school.
So he's playing for Burt.
Wofford, a.k.a. TCU.
Yeah, that's the fired guy from Arkansas' son's playing.
Tanner Mordecai was at SMU.
Yeah.
He's now at Wisconsin.
Yeah, he's gonna start for the Badgers. They're supposed to be throwing the ball around, which is gonna be crazy.
Jeff Collins was a dumpster fire at Georgia Tech, but he did recruit a 4-star quarterback in Jeff Sims.
Yeah.
Jeff Sims is out. Jeff Sims is at Nebraska now.
Okay.
Starting there. Let's see here. Some of the other bigger names.
Because Chad Morris's son is starting at TCU, and he started out at Oklahoma. So he went from one Big 12 school to another, even though one of the Big 12 school he left is now in the SEC.
Jimbo Fisher lost a quarterback in Haynes King.
And now he's at Georgia Tech.
Haynes King is at Georgia Tech to take over for Sims. Now, Jack Plummer.
Okay. Is that Jake Plummer's son?
I don't know. I've tried to look, but he started his career at Purdue.
Yeah.
Then went to Cal, and now he's at Louisville.
Okay. And they got Jeff Brom, who used to be at Purdue and is now at his alma mater at Louisville.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's where the connection is there, because one was at Purdue when one was there. Went to yes.
Yeah.
DJ,
say that 3 times fast.
DJU.
Ui Ungalele.
See, I just say DJU. I leave the hard part to you.
Right.
We all know his journey.
Yeah.
He is now at Oregon State.
He is. Yeah.
What kind of impact will he have? I mean, because he was kind of, you know what, DJU, to me, is like a, what's his name, who's now at Rice.
Oh, JT
Daniels.
No, he's not like JT, man.
No, I'm saying, though, he was heralded like JT Daniels.
Oh, he was more. I mean, everybody thought he was going to be the first pick in the draft. JT Daniels, a little bit. There was some Heisman buzz, but I think once everybody figured out he couldn't beat out Stetson Bennett and it wasn't just injury concerns, that Daniels was just overrated. But guess people got to remember, he lost his job to somebody that ended up at 2 different schools, that ended up at Pitt, so.
A name Auburn Tiger fans will hear in week 2.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He transferred from
TCU.
Yes. Ding, ding.
Yeah.
He is now at Cal.
Yeah, he's the starting quarterback at Cal Berkeley in the Pac-2.
Remember this name here? Kedon Slovis.
Is he still at Pitt, or is he in his third school?
He is gone from Pitt. So he is now on his
He's on like his 7th year of eligibility or 6th or something.
Because he was at USC.
Then he went to Pitt. Then he got hurt.
And then now he is at BYU.
Oh, so that's where he ended up. That one's the one I wasn't aware. I mean, he's probably 25.
And another guy who is on his Trace school, 3rd school.
Yeah.
Remember this name? Emory Jones.
Yeah, he went from Florida to Arizona State to Jackson State.
No.
Dang it.
He is he's in a Power 5 school. They've just joined the Big 12.
UCF.
No.
Dang it. Oh, no, that's John Rice Plumlee, who came from Ole Miss.
Yes.
Cincinnati.
Ding, ding.
All right. I got it on the second try. And he's playing for Louisville's old coach.
Yes.
God almighty.
Yes. Yeah, so there you go. So
You remember that board game, the match game? We could do that. We could play a match game and we could play it for 3 hours.
On quarterbacks that have transferred. There's something we didn't even mention that I don't think even people care about.
Yeah.
Devin Smith, who was at Texas Tech, he's now at Houston.
Yeah.
There's some in here that I don't think people. Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah.
He was at Virginia. Now he's at NC State.
Because Devin Leary left NC State to go to Kentucky.
Yep. Phil
Jerkovic. He used to be at Notre Dame. Then he went to BC, and now he's
Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Because Keaton Slovis.
This went to BYU. This is so confusing. I forgot that Jerkovic got hurt and left.
I mean, is that a sad state, though, of college football?
Oh,
when we're running down a list and you're talking about starting quarterbacks that potentially could be starting for 3 college football teams in their career. Is that a sad state for college football?
Well, I mean, it's just the new world. I mean, in honor of the late great Bob Barker, who was 99 years old. Bandy should have been playing the yodeling. We should have been trying to guess all this before the cliffhanger fell off. I just don't know, but I don't know how to spell Jerkovic, so I would have probably been screwed. So,
well, here's one you will not guess. Tony Muskett.
That sounds like somebody from the Alamo.
Virginia needed a quarterback, and they went to the FCS route.
Oh.
And they got this guy out of Monmouth.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Monmouth.
Yeah.
Well, and don't forget where our boy that never played for Auburn is too, Zach Calzada.
I totally forgot about him.
So I'm quizzing you. Do you remember
that
where
would be his third school, right?
Yeah. Because he was at Texas
A&M,
he came
from
Auburn.
Texas A&M to Auburn.
He never really played at Auburn, but still he was there. He was enrolled.
Oh man, you've lost me on this one.
I think they're ranked in the top 10. You pulled up those FCS rankings.
I would not have gotten to the showcase
Their head coach
showdown.
G.J. Kinney already left.
Let's see here. You got me.
Incarnate Word.
I never would have guessed that one. They're not even ranked inside the top 10.
Oh, I thought I saw them ranked in one of those polls.
No, they're not in the one that I'm looking at. All right, let's go to Brandon real fast. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning.
We can't talk about quarterbacks transferring without figuring out who transferred more times, J.T. Daniels or Blake Barnett.
Well, I think JT's got him whooped now. That he's
JT
at Rice.
went to USC, Georgia,
West Virginia,
and Rice
4 times.
What Blake Barnett do? Alabama, Arizona State, UCF.
College.
Yeah, close. SF.
SF. That's 3.
Yeah.
Did he go anywhere else after that?
No.
He went to some school called Palomar after he left Alabama.
Oh well, yeah. Brandon's right. He did have a stopover without playing at a JUCO before he signed with Arizona State. So technically, he did go to 4 schools.
Yeah.
He managed to go to 2 in the same year when the season had already started.
Yeah, that was Alabama and Palomar or whatever. Yeah.
That's got to be a record.
Yeah. He and his dad found that little loophole where he could maintain his eligibility and then go finish some academics at Palomar and then sign with another school.
Hey, have y'all donated to the I Made the Band Mad Fund yet?
No, we did not. And you know what? I was sitting at home the day before, and I was like, you know what? He needs to do a telethon for this because I think it'd be pretty cool. And I mean, hey, kudos. He raised over $1,000 for the Buckhorn Band. So, I mean, that was pretty cool.
Well, I tried to get him to get a Dunkin' booth. I told him we could probably double it up, but Moulton didn't respond when I messaged him on that one to see if he could get one.
Yeah.
We could have it out there before the game at Buckhorn.
Yeah, we don't need to see anybody in a Speedo.
I was thinking a clown costume, $2 a throw.
Yeah.
Do like who's that Doink the Clown on WWF?
Oh man, I don't know. That was way before my time.
So 90,000 people saw a volleyball game.
Yep. Over 92 actually, over 92,000.
Where was this, and what was the occasion?
It was because Nebraska is a volleyball powerhouse. They're 4th ranked in the country. They've won I don't know how many national championships. They take volleyball as seriously as we take football.
Midwest and the Pac-12 are 4.
They just wanted
whatever.
to do something unique, and so they set it up inside the football stadium, inside Memorial Coliseum or Memorial Stadium there on the campus. Sold it out within, I think, 36 minutes or something, or 36 hours within the tickets going on sale. Over 92,000. They took on Omaha yesterday, won in straight sets. But yeah, it was probably one of the most remarkable things that I've seen. It was amazing to look at some of the video.
Well, hats off to them on that. That's a good job. I've never imagined in my life you'd see a volleyball crowd that big. But
well, I mean, think about it. I mean, it's huge on the West Coast and it's huge in the Midwest. I mean, like a few years ago, and about a decade ago, when the Huntsville High really had it rolling, and they won like 10 state, 11 state championship under Coach Donahue. They had Jamie Houston, and she went to Hawaii, and at the time Hawaii was one of the top 2 to 3 programs in the country, and they sell out their arena and everything. I mean, that's probably the biggest sport on their campus. I mean, football has struggled financially, but volleyball is a huge deal, and it's a huge deal on the West Coast, and it's a huge deal in the Midwest.
It is.
We talked to UNA's head coach the other day, and he was telling us just the ins and outs of how difficult it is in the Southeast compared to other regions of the country to recruit for volleyball, because in these other regions of the country, it's the higher up the totem pole.
In women's sports right now, they're trying to do things to captivate audiences.
Yeah.
Iowa women's basketball is going to play an exhibition game inside Kinnick Stadium. They've already sold 39,000.
They're going to do an outdoor thing.
They're doing an outdoor exhibition game.
You said it holds what, 77?
Yeah, it did. Now they've redone it. I'm pretty sure it still sits at 77. It can go to 78, I think. But they've sold 39,000 seats for an exhibition outdoor basketball game coming up here later in October. So, hey, Brandon, we got to get a break in.
Appreciate it.
We got to talk some high school football when we return. Coming up tonight on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, we got some Thursday night football. Going to preview it coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Really is going to be a beautiful day across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We drop into the mid-upper 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. More cloud cover Friday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but it does not look like the day or the evening is going to be a complete wash. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the upper 60s through the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just picked up a wreck on Oakwood near Pulaski Pike. Sounds like they're pulling it off into a parking lot. Got one on Sparkman at Pulaski Pike and one on 72 eastbound at Moore's Mill. Those are all no injury. And we got one at Patton and Fremont that had a serious injury. HPD's doing a full investigation there. Lots of blockage. The 7th annual Bernard Blues and Barbecue Fest is coming up September 9th and 10th next to Ave Maria Grotto at St. Bernard in Coleman. Arts and crafts, live music, great barbecue, a KC cook-off, and a $10,000 giveaway. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3, 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
There you go. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond on a Thursday morning. We've had high school football over our airwaves. We did that last Friday for week 0 of the high school football season. Tonight, we get week 1 of the high school football season. And just like college football, you get 5 days of it. You're going to get 2 full days of high school football right over our airways here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. It all starts tonight over at Milton Frank Stadium, a renovated Milton Frank Stadium, to say the least.
Saw the track the other day, not on video. I have to admit, I haven't been inside, but I've heard it's really nice.
New scoreboard.
Oh yeah, I saw it on video.
Scoreboard
it
video
looks
board,
clearer. I saw that on the highlights too. It looks good.
A little different, but the Lee Generals will be occupying Milton Frank Stadium, and they will be welcoming to the visiting sideline the Madison County Tigers.
Yes, they will. And their third-year head football coach. This is his 14th year as a head coach in our community. He spent 5 years at Hazel Green, 6 at his alma mater, Sylvania. Now beginning year 3 at Madison County High School with the Tigers. And he was at our Madison County Media Day, our first annual event over at the Trash Pandas Toyota Field. It was great to see him and his 2 student athletes who we were able to come and give us some time, and we're looking forward to having them on the airwaves tonight against Lee, and that is Matt Putnam, and he's been kind enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Coach, I know you guys didn't get the results you wanted last week against big-time rival, county rival Buckhorn, but it was a 4-quarter fight. You guys fought back. It was a very competitive game into the fourth quarter. After you've watched the film with your staff and kind of broken things down, what did you like and what do you need to work on right now for your squad?
Well, I mean, I like the way they fought. It was a 4-quarter game, and our kids are pretty tenacious. They don't give up, so I got to applaud them for that. We definitely got to work on our inability to cramp. I guess that kind of got us there in the third quarter. Our numbers, we had guys falling everywhere, but we got to tackle a little bit better. And we got to block a little bit, but it's just fundamental football. You know, just the little stuff you got to do better.
How much of that can you attribute, one, to the heat
Oh,
last week? I mean, it's not going to be near as hot tonight, but two, how much of it was just the first game, and a lot of guys probably maybe either one, shaking off the rust of the first game, or two, really getting that first game experience?
Well, I mean, you know, Buckler's got a good team. I don't want to take anything away from those guys, but, you know, we got a lot of guys at a 4A school. We got 37 on roster. We got 6 or 7 guys that are playing both sides of the ball, taking a lot of snaps. And those snaps, you know, in that kind of heat, you know, I don't know what the heat index was at kickoff at 8 o'clock, but it felt like 110. So it was, you know, it definitely played a factor in it. But, you know, as it cools off, and hopefully we won't have that issue.
Well, it feels a lot better today, I can tell you that. When I got up this morning, I was like, holy cow, this
felt
is
like
football.
fall. It felt fallish out there this morning.
I mean, because speaking of fallish, I was about to fall out. I was on top of press box myself with Bandy doing Randolph and West Morgan. And the thing, Coach, that just was amazing to me is there was no wind, none, at least where we were. I mean, if there had been just a slight breeze, it would have made a huge difference.
It was definitely an oven last week. It was an oven.
Well, Coach, assess the offense for us. I mean, you go into week 2, and they say the biggest improvement does come from week 1 to week 2. Let's start on that offensive side of the ball. Where would you like to see the improvement?
Well, we've got to establish our running game a little bit more. We rushed for about 85 yards, I think, last week. We would like to, you know, to get a few more numbers up. And passing game-wise, I think we threw for about 280.
Nice.
So it wasn't bad. We had a few drops, and we had a few sacks that we needed to check down a little bit. But, you know, like I said, it's just that fundamental stuff. And learning the game, got a lot of new guys and places that were a little nervous with big rival. Maybe we'll fix some of that this week.
Well, and if you're going to get in the playoffs 4A Region 8, I'm sure you want balance. You always ran the football well at Sylvania. And you did a good job at Hazel Green. Your teams were very, very competitive. But I mean, I take that as a good sign if you're throwing and catching that well this early for 280 yards. If the running game comes around offensively, you've got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, we do. That was the whole thing. So if we can do both, we'll be hard to stop. So we just got to, you know, let it click and hopefully, you know, get it going tonight.
Well, let's look at it. I'm sure after the game against Buckhorn, you started turning your attention to Lee. They come in very formidable on the ground, a great rushing attack. What else stands out to you on the film from Lee?
They're just their athleticism. You know, they got some athletes on the field that can run and catch, and you know they block well. You know, they're just Coach McGuire over there is doing a great job and getting his team ready to play. So it's going to be a tough ball game for us tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and even since our media day, Coach, when you guys were up there, it's dramatically changed because Carlin Long has transferred to Lee. He's a huge key piece of that. He had 354, I think, and 5 touchdowns. And as Jimmy Lay, our good friend from AL.com, said, 2 other long explosives that got called back, or he would have been probably second all-time in AHSAA history in touchdowns and yards in a game. So the first key thing has got to be, I would think the focus would be with your kids is run fits and tackling and stopping the run.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to get him before he gets started. You know, once he gets into open field, it's over with. You know, so yeah, you got to try to get him on that first level and get him wrapped up and holding on. You know, wrapping up and grabbing cloth, like they say, and run your feet and just hang on and let help get there. So that's the ultimate goal tonight, is just to get him on the ground as soon as possible.
Who kind of stood out in your eyes on Friday night that you know, you mentioned the passing game was good. You mentioned you do want to get better at the rushing game, but who kind of stood out in your eyes? Who kind of led the way for you last Friday?
Oh, 2 of our receivers had really, really good games. Actually, we kind of spread the ball out pretty well. Josh Clark caught the ball very well. Brayton Reed had a good game catching. I think they both had about 5 or 6 catches for about 70 yards, 80 yards apiece. I don't remember the actual numbers. Landon Duvall, you know, he's a receiver. He caught some balls. And our running back, Keontae Hill's a sophomore. And, you know, Keontae got going a little bit better than he did in the Jamboree. So, it was just a team effort. And our quarterback, Lucas Putnam, he threw the ball really well, had a good game. So it was just a good team effort. It wasn't really, we don't have a team full of star-studded lineups but it's just kind of a group effort over here.
How unique is it for you? Because I believe your son is the quarterback?
He is.
How unique is that, and how different is that to coach? I mean, it's one thing to coach him maybe if he's in the secondary, but to literally talk to him every play and run that in, get the play in and everything. How of a relationship is that with you coaching your son?
It's good. It's a really good thing. He's been around the game his whole life. He's been on the sideline, my ball boy, since he was able to hold a football. And so he's been exposed to football for a long time. So his knowledge of the game is pretty high. So we can have some pretty intelligent conversations about ball. And it's easy to correct him because he cares about it so much, and he takes everything to heart. So it's a good relationship to have. You want to be that close with all your guys, but it's kind of easier when he's yours.
Yeah, no question, Coach. And as far as you talked about some kids maybe being a little nervous for their first game against a county rival. As far as I know, there's always first-year varsity guys. As far as who really pleased you, though, with the way they responded to the Friday Night Lights, as far as maybe a young player, I know you mentioned your tailback is a sophomore, but he got it going a little bit in the second half. Who is someone else maybe that was their first varsity game that you thought performed well after you watched the film?
We got our whole defensive line. We've got new starters everywhere out there.
Gotcha.
Stanton Masterka, he's a junior. That was his first. He played defensive end. Stanton played a really good game. Damian Rorum's another defensive end. He's a sophomore, and he started out there for the first time on Friday night. Both of my defensive tackles are new. Tyson Daly and Jamin Brake. So, it was really just a learning experience for all of them. And like I said, they got a motor, and they played 4 quarters, and they made mistakes, but they played hard. So we can correct mistakes as long as the effort's there.
Well, that all begins tonight, Madison County, 7 o'clock. You'll be able to hear the game right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone as we have Madison County and Lee coming your way.
And, Coach, another big thing, I know it was a very hot night. You talked about you had several kids that had hydration issues. How healthy overall did you come out of the first ball game headed into this one?
I'm pretty healthy. We had a kid that had a little hip flexor that he's going to miss tonight. But and a few banged up shoulders, but nothing major. We came out pretty healthy, and hopefully we can stay healthy going into region play next week.
Well, Coach, finally, what's going to be a couple keys to winning this ball game tonight for Madison County?
We just got to wrap up and tackle, and try to limit their running back to as few yards as possible. And then we got to take advantage of opportunities that we have on offense and put points on the board.
Well, Coach, we had a caller call in.
Yeah, there you go.
To give you a special message.
Bama Bino with his electric car.
And he's telling us that Coach, we're supposed to tell you that Jeff Craig is proud of you and proud of you as a coach.
Thank you, Jeff.
There you go. That's what we do on this show.
Yeah.
We relay messages. We got people listening.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight, sir.
Thank you.
Matt Putnam, head coach, Madison County High School. Again, you're going to hear the Tigers and the Generals tonight, 7 o'clock, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's get a break in. Going to wrap up hour 1. On the flip side,
you're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sounds like the injury at Patton and Fremont is not going to be as serious as they first thought, so HPD's working to clear that intersection. Got Pulaski Pike and Oakwood, Sparkman and Pulaski Pike, and 72 eastbound at Moores Mill, all reported as no injury. They all should be out of the way pretty quick. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. We just got done talking about Madison County and Lee. They played tonight. There is a handful of high school football games hitting the gridiron tonight. Rogers is going to welcome Lauderdale County. That is tonight. You get Lee and Madison County over our airways. May Jemison is set to play host to Tanner this evening.
That may be out at Alabama A&M would be my guess.
That or it could be Joe Davis. I don't know. It just said it's not telling me where. And then perhaps then you got James Clemens welcoming Mountain Brook tonight over at Madison City Schools Stadium. That one will get underway at 7 o'clock. We'll see if James Clemens can build on that Gardendale win a week ago. A tough, hard-fought win for James Clemens on the road. And then tonight, probably, it is the showcase game in the state. It would have to be the showcase game. You get Thompson High School taking on IMG Academy.
Oh, it's been canceled.
Evening. Oh, it's been canceled.
Yeah, at least you better double check that because I know I read a headline where due to the
I'm
hurricane.
just going by the state master schedule.
I know.
So, okay, it makes
know.
sense that IMG could not travel.
Yeah, I don't know if the Reverend Ron, if he corrected it, but yeah, that's what I swear I saw that on Twitter because Ben Thomas does a great job with AL.com wearing a bunch of hats and I think because of the
hurricane that came through
and everything and because Billy Napier, we were talking about Florida, they had to travel early. They left and the coaches teleconference that we put up on 97.7 The Zone, Billy Napier did it from the hotel in Dallas.
Yeah,
so they had already left.
The plan was for Florida. Now Billy Napier said he reached out to several coaches to figure out, and NFL coaches, about playing in high altitude because Utah plays at a higher altitude. And it was, do you go 10 days early to try to get acclimated to the higher altitude, or do you get in? And the NFL coaches and all the coaches that he sought advice from said, get in and get out.
Yeah.
Get in there the day before the game, get out, don't let it, bother you as much. And so the plan was for Florida to go to Dallas, practice for a little bit, and then fly in the day before the game, get in there and get out and not have – hopefully the altitude doesn't play a havoc with them.
And here's the official statement yesterday from Thompson.
Okay.
Due to the hurricane's pending landfall near the IMG Academy campus in Florida, the IMG Academy Thompson football game scheduled for Thursday, August 31st has been canceled. After weighing all options, IMG Academy and Thompson officials have made the joint decision to cancel the game. The game cancellation is in the interest of the safety of IMG players, employees, and their families. Travel in and out of the Tampa area will be limited in the coming days. Due to a tight fall schedule for both schools, a rematch is unlikely. Please monitor Thompson Athletics and Alabaster City Schools social channels for any further information. Refunds will be issued through GoFan to anyone who purchased single game tickets. Our thoughts and prayers remain with the families affected by this weather emergency. So
that's a tough one.
That's a tough one because IMG Academy had already beaten Lipscomb Academy, already off to a very strong start. And Thompson, as we know, is the 4-time defending 7A champions in our state. That would have been a heck of a litmus test for Thompson playing against IMG Academy. I know I had friends that were planning on attending that game that are in the Tuscaloosa, Birmingham area, and so that's a tough one. You wish maybe that they could have rescheduled it, maybe even pushed it back to Friday, but wasn't able to be worked out because of the hurricane. And thoughts and prayers with everybody in the Tampa area.
All right, we are just about done with hour number 1 here on Talking Ball. Don't forget, coming up on Friday, you're going to have another slew of high school football games to, put your attention to right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You got Randolph and Madison Academy and Randolph, however you want to look at that. And you can flip between all the streams to listen to that one. So you'll be there. You will have Madison Academy and Randolph.
Yeah,
excited?
Bailey and I will be there. It was a history-making last year, 46-33. Randolph went over Madison Academy the first time that they've beaten the Mustangs, outstanding program that's won 3 state championships and been a contender for much of the last close to 15 seasons. It was certainly a watershed moment for those seniors last year. Led by the 4 horsemen of Nick Strong, Connor Goodson, Grayson Davenport, and Andrew Hunter. But Randolph's got a scrappy young team now. They played against a really good West Morgan team, and to tell you how good West Morgan is too, you heard Coach Putnam saying he has a 4A school, 4A Region 8 school that's got 37 guys on the roster.
Right.
Well, the West Morgan Rebels under Drew Phillips, who are 4A Region 7, dressed 72.
Woo!
And I'm just telling you, Randolph dressed 42. And when you came out for the warm-ups, Bailey can attest to this, it was like watching a 5A, 6A, 7A school warm up. I mean, it was just a huge difference.
Well, coming up later tonight, Lee is going to take on Madison County. We've already talked Madison County. Let's hop into the Lee locker room. Irving McGuire, head coach of the Lee Generals, is going to welcome you into hour number 2 coming up next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the GBank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
College football tonight, number 14, Utah opens up the season at home against the Florida Gators. The Utes are favored by 4.5. The over is 44.5. Saturday, number 2, Michigan hosts East Carolina. The Wolverines favored by 36. The over-under 51.5. Number 12, Tennessee hosts Virginia. The Volunteers are a 28-point favorite. The over-under 57.5. Number 17, TCU is a 21-point favorite at home against Colorado. The over-under 59.5. Number 20, Oklahoma favored by 35 at home against Arkansas State. The over-under is 58.5. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 of Talking Ball officially underway here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And I believe Carlin Long is still running. In fact, I mean, this is stuff that legends are made of, because Carlin Long had himself a Friday night last week against Westminster Christian Academy. But after the game, you get these things that, you know, people are saying, well, you know what, if he didn't have a penalty here and they didn't have a penalty here, he could have rushed for over 500 yards.
That's why we were checking the all-time records.
We were going back through the records and saying, well, this guy could have almost. I mean, that's the stuff where legends are. Those are the Friday night stories that 20 years from now, you remember Carlin Long could have had 550 yards rushing if you didn't have 2 penalties. But tonight, he's going to get another shot. He and the Lee Generals. Now, Lee is not just Carlin Long. They are 22 other guys on the field, both 11 offense and defense. But the Lee General is going to get a chance to go to 2-0 playing host to Madison County right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They really are, no question about it. And we definitely last week we had a chance to speak to Irving McGuire and, in anticipation of this game. And they played very, very well. They got a big season opening win against a quality squad. And we certainly understood that Carlin Long would make an impact at Lee. I think he led 7A in rushing last year to like 142.5 yards per game, and he was going to be a big part of this offense. And big is an understatement, but they also got other pieces, and they beat Brandon Mush and a very talented, experienced Westminster Christian Academy team last week. And now they're going to try to start 2-0 tonight on our airwaves against the Madison County Tigers. And Coach Irving McGuire, who's been kind enough to join us heading into his 3rd season as the head coach of the Generals, is now with us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's everything?
It's good, Coach. I mean, I got to believe, Coach, everything wasn't perfect Friday night, but it had to be fun to go back and watch the film after your kids performed that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, for the guys to keep on fighting, that's what I really told them about. Our execution early on was poor. But we kept on fighting. We were able to pull it out. So, our focus this week has been executing at a higher level than we did on Friday night.
And I'm sure, Carlin Long's 354-yard, 5-touchdown performance going to steal the show. But he doesn't get 1 yard if the offensive line is not opening up the holes and being physical. After going back and watching the film, is that exactly what happened? I mean, was the offensive line just executing at a high level?
Oh, well, Carlin Long does make a lot of people look better. I will highlight LaDarren McClendon, our left tackle, junior. He did a phenomenal job. I thought a couple of blocks that he really set up Carlin to really break. But the whole line as a group blocked very, very well. But we definitely had a lot of room for improvement.
No question, Coach. And I know it had to be a kind of a watershed moment for your kids because they remember last year and they lost the game at the start of the year to Westminster Christian Academy, so they were able to get a little bit of revenge coming back out. You guys offensively, like you said, it was a dogfight for much of the game. I mean, you guys were down. Mush made a lot of plays, but, of course, you guys kept fighting. And then Carlin was able to get loose. And, of course, offensively as a group, though, not just Carlin, you just mentioned your left tackle. Who else did you think played winning football when you graded the film?
Well, Carlin did a great job in that first half. And he finished the game strong. But Brandon Johnson did a phenomenal job in the receiving game, catching screens, catching the little hitches here and there, and making a lot out of small plays. Naaman Hobson, another guy, he excelled at blocking at the next level. That really, really sprung Carlin on a lot of those runs. So, though everybody played a part in it, but to highlight some offensive guys, those two were definitely there. And two quarterbacks, Patrick Bailey, he was spot on. And I don't think LaShawn Van had it incomplete on Friday night. So, those things go unsung after, a performance like Carlin's. But, it was really a group effort.
Defensively, when you're taking and facing a quarterback like Brandon Mush, I mean, he's over 10,000 yards of offense.
touchdowns.
Yeah, in his career at Westminster Christian Academy. It can be a daunting task, Coach, but you guys were able to get a little bit of pressure on him, keep him off balance a little bit. I know Westminster had 500 yards of offense, but defensively, you were able to get to him a little bit.
Yeah, we made some adjustments at halftime for Brandon. We had to put a spy on him. We put our most athletic guy on him. And, every time he got ready to scramble in the second half, he was right in his face. I told him the second half, that was teach tape on how to spy a quarterback. We got some much-needed licks on him, and ultimately he actually broke one for about 20, and two of our seniors actually caught him pretty good. And then the next play, we got up on that shoulder pad and forced an interception. So that, it was a culmination of a lot of hits on him and trying to get to him. But he definitely had a day, and if we didn't get him down, I'm pretty sure we'd probably still be playing.
Well, and, I know a big play in the game, Coach, was you were able to close the gap to 2, but as time expired before the end of the first half, Colin Long got loose for a 62-yard touchdown to cut that lead to 28-26 and give you guys the momentum headed into the locker room, which in a game like that's back and forth was big.
Oh, it was tremendous. I think it was tremendous for our guys' whole mental psyche, not just the score. But, we went into the huddle, and Coach Judah jokingly said, hey, it'd be good if you could pop one right now. So we just ran power right. He jumped in that B gap. Before you know it, he popped out the backside, and he hit the sideline. Dontavius Cousin, a senior who's just come back to the football team, got a tremendous block at the end to really spring him for him to go in and score.
Well, let's look ahead to this evening. You have a great chance, or you have a chance, to go 2-0. You play host to Madison County. When you pop in the film, it's not like the old days where you put the film in anymore. When you turn on the film, Coach knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What stands out to you the most about Matt Putnam's squad?
Well, just a physical group of guys. Putnam's son is a quarterback. Anytime you're playing against a coach's son, he's a true competitor, and he does a lot of things to put his team in a position to be successful. They have a sophomore running back that I think is really the key to stopping him. I don't even know if he knows how good he is right now, but he's a nice-sized kid, number 4, about 5'10", 190. He's a load, and we're going to have to gang tackle him. And they actually have one of our offensive linemen that transferred early in the preseason over there due to moving. And, he does a phenomenal job with that offensive line. So it's just a load up front, and we're going to have to get 11 hats to the ball every play.
Well, and, Coach, I know he was a late addition to your squad, but Colin Long, a great player. We already talked about his career at Huntsville High for 3 years, and he's obviously had a huge impact early on your squad. How long did it take you guys to adjust your football team? You already had some really good athletes. You already were telling us you wanted to be able to have a multifaceted running attack. But when you were able to, how quickly what adjustments did your staff have to make, Coach Judah, to get him involved and get the chemistry right to play that well in the first game with a new addition?
Well, it really didn't take long. To be honest, Carlin is a phenomenal back. our blocking scheme is slightly different. You know, they ran a lot of stretch and outside zone at Huntsville, and we run a lot of power, a lot of counter, a lot of ISO type. But, you know, I think actually having a lead blocker for a change might have helped him a little bit. He's used to having those 6 up front. So it didn't take long at all. Coach Judah, who I think is probably one of the top offensive coordinators around and is poised to be a head coach pretty soon, he does a great job of scheming to make sure that all our playmakers are able to touch the ball. And I think he did a phenomenal job of making it easy for him to transition in.
All right, Coach, you get the team tonight at Milton Frank Stadium. You get them in the locker room. You got the blackboard in there. You're writing the 3 keys to the victory, and you're telling the team, hey, we got to do this, this, and this to get a win. What are you telling them?
Well, we got to execute as a whole group defensively. We got to take the head of the snake, and offensively, we got to run the football. You know, so opening up the run opens up everything in our offense. Execution is key for everybody, and take the head of the snake. Our motto for the defense, you know, we got to take their best player away and then make everybody else beat us.
And speaking of taking the best player away, I know he got a little banged up, missed the fourth quarter, but what adjustments did you and your staff make defensively to outscore Westminster 18-7 in the second half?
Well, to be honest with you, we just went through a cover 3 coverage to the front side. We locked in on the spine. We played man-to-man on the back end, and we just got some guys who weren't traditionally pass rushers or defensive linemen, and we put them in. We put Demarius Carroll, who's been a running back, who came to us from Sparkman at defensive end, along with a couple other guys, and we just tried to pressure him as much as we could, and we got some athletes on the field to kind of match his athleticism, and it kind of paid off for us. Yeah,
and it sounded like a little bit of a rabbit rush kind of package, Coach.
Yeah, man. We just wanted to get the best 11 athletes we could on the field. So even when he did scramble, we had enough speed to try to kind of corral him.
Well, and I know you've watched the film in Madison County. Scott just talked about the 2 or 3 keys. We just talked to Coach Putnam. They threw the ball for 280, so that's once again going to be a test for your secondary in pass rush.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a test, you know. But that's like I always say, we like to lean on that secondary. We got a senior bunch back there with a couple of juniors who played a lot of football, so we kind of count on those guys. A lot of adjustments up front, making sure we get appropriate pressure. You know, if push comes to shove, we'll put our best 11 on the field in the package that we have. That may be Carl in their corner, Brandon Johnson in their corner, Naaman Hobson at safety. So, you know, if they're going to throw it, we'll put people out there to cover. If they're going to run it, we'll put people out there to stop the run. So, you know, we'll make adjustments as need be throughout the game.
Versatility, no question. Well, Coach, we wish your team luck. Is your team healthy after that heat wave?
Oh, thank the Lord. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we were able to stay hydrated, man. Alabama A&M did a phenomenal job of partnering with us. I think they got a surplus of steel hydration drink, and they were able to donate some to us. So our guys were able to take a lot of that in before and at halftime to make sure they were properly hydrated throughout the game. So it was tremendous help for those guys.
Well, good luck tonight, Coach, and we will see you over at Milton Frank Stadium. 7 o'clock kick on what should be a perfect night for high school football.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's Irvin McGuire. It's going to be a great game tonight over at Milton Frank.
Oh, I should have told him bring the Lee General helmet so we could get the Lee helmet.
Well, I mean,
I will bring it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yes, I'll be there. I got to do it.
Scott's favorite new logo. Spell out the Generals there.
All right.
There you go.
Well, Coach, I'll talk to you a little bit later.
Hey, maybe we'll get an Elkmont one later, you know. We're going to be over there. You never know.
All right, Coach. Good luck tonight, bud.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That's Irving McGuire, Lee head coach.
General.
He said that he had one for us, and he sent us via the and I told him we could send it to him, but now we're going to get it from him, and it'll add to the collection. Yeah. Pretty proud of our collection we started. I mean, New Hope was the newest one. Now we'll add Lee to it.
Now we just need some nails and some screws to
hold them
up.
What we need, honestly, is somebody that has the constructional fortitude,
right,
to come in here and build us a something along the wall here to display the helmets. Because
you're talking about a cabinet.
Not a cabinet. No, I want we need something along the wall so you can
Well, I mean, if you industrialize the hooks, it would be just fine. It's just we tried to stick them on there, and it ain't going to happen with a dadgum helmet that's kind of heavy. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these helmets are heavy. They're heavier
live
than
in
they
a
look.
town of engineers, and we are not one or two.
We tried to do it the cheap way, and it didn't work. We tried. I mean, it was a good effort. It looked good for a while.
It was.
It's just we
for about 5 minutes.
Trial and error. You got to realize. Oh yeah, okay. We got to use screws. We got to use nails, especially. We got to drill SOBs in there. So
we do not do that.
Yeah.
Hence, the helmets are still here
in my department. Hell,
All right. I mowed the yard yesterday. That's about as good as it gets.
Hey, and you didn't have a heat stroke because it wasn't 1,000 degrees.
We got to get a break in. When we come back, we'll talk some college football, run down some more of the games from tomorrow and Saturday. What's in store next? 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Dealing with a heavy traffic load, bumper to bumper, all across the valley now. And got a couple of new wrecks. Parkway northbound at Hobbs Road, 565 eastbound near Research Park, and southbound on the Parkway between Drake and Airport. That one may actually be over on the access road. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Score big deals at Baumhauer's this football season and order from our Inflation Bites menu. Try our Buffalo Wing Special with fries and a complimentary beverage for only $9.99. And what's football without a cold beer? Our pitchers of Yingling and Yingling Flight are only $7.99, served all day, 7 days a week. And huddle up, football fans. Sign up today for our free NFL Pick'em contest at Baumhauers.com for weekly prizes. Baumhauers, legendary fun and legendary food.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading erosion control and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit HuntsvilleSports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
There you go. 8:20 on a Thursday morning. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you on said Thursday. Coming up on Saturday, you're going to get some more college football. South Carolina and North Carolina going to take it on in Charlotte. This one just screams, give us a show for the quarterbacks. You got Spencer Rattler and Drake May in this one. Should be a fantastic. You fixing everything?
Yeah.
You got to put everything back from last night?
It's all good.
All right. Spencer Rattler, Drake May. Should be a fantastic game there between two talented quarterbacks. Of course, Spencer Rattler trying to build off the momentum he finished with last year towards the end. He's a turnover machine, is Spencer Rattler. He's got to control the interceptions. But Drake May, obviously, talented, very talented.
Well, I mean, according to Pete Thamel, he's talking to a lot of people around the NFL, and they are already making up their minds that Caleb Williams or Drake May, that's going to be first and second pick in the draft, just like Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud last year, and then Will Anderson went third. So sounds like the two early favorites for the first and the second pick are going to be Caleb Williams and Drake May.
All right, that one comes your way on Saturday. We also, on Saturday, will get our first look. Well, actually, yeah, we're going to get our first look at the 2023 version of the Tennessee Volunteers. 11 a.m., going to play on Virginia in Nashville on ABC. Tennessee comes off a year where they went 11-2 last year. We all know the momentum Josh Heupel has built. That momentum has caused the Tennessee fan base to start seeing bigger and bigger things, possibly an SEC East championship, possibly a playoff berth. Is it going to be there? There's a lot of experts that say, pump the brakes, because while you were great last year, this year may not be as great. 9 wins. A lot of people see Tennessee topping out at 9 wins. If they win 9 this year, Josh Heupel would be 27-11 in his tenure at Tennessee. 27-11. Where the program was when Josh Heupel walked through the doors. If Tennessee wins just 9 games this year, and at the end of the year, we're saying Josh Heupel is 27-11. Is that good enough for Vols fans, considering the momentum that they think they have right now?
Yeah, more than good enough, because if you win a bowl game, you win 10. You have back-to-back 10-win seasons, and that hasn't happened for a long, long time. And it means you're going to be ranked in the top 15 in the country. It means you're recruiting at a very high level, and your expectations have completely changed, because when Josh Heupel got there, they lost in the Music City Bowl to Purdue. They lost in the Music City Bowl to Purdue. They lost in the Music City Bowl to Purdue, who we've already had quarterback, the match game earlier today.
Yes,
Purdue,
we did.
Purdue is not exactly a powerhouse. So I think, they made a huge leap in year 2. If they can continue the consistency and get another double-digit win season, it means Tennessee's very close to being considered back, and especially now that they've got the NCAA Philip Fulmer investigation over, and Fulmer once again escaped unscathed because of the scumbag that he is. Then they put that in the rearview mirror, and they're ready to completely get this, I guess, the pedal to the metal, so to speak.
Right.
It's just putting back-to-back seasons together. If they can put back-to-back really good years together and be in the college football playoff conversation and the SEC East conversation, then yes, I think Tennessee is going to be more than happy with what Josh Heupel has done. They just don't want to, you don't want to fall back to a 7-5 type deal, and so that's what's going to be interesting about Joe Milton, because if they win 10 games, probably means Joe Milton is in the conversation to be a first-round draft choice, and then all of a sudden with Nico Iamaleava waiting in the wings to take over next year, they become a hot quarterback school.
Just interesting. 256-576-4977. That's the number you can join the program. Matt Moscona is going to join us here in just a little bit, because coming up on Sunday, you're going to get LSU and Florida State.
This is my favorite game, man.
Right. Now, we already know, though, Mason Smith is not going to play.
Yeah, that's totally stupid.
And that is an NCAA thing. But yesterday, we did find out that John Emery Jr. will be unavailable for the LSU Tigers
when
as
is
well.
the last time he played? So to me, that doesn't affect LSU very much.
Okay.
He's been through so much trying to get himself eligible academically.
He's rushed for 941 yards, 13
He's had
touchdowns
a
in
decent
his career.
He was a 5-star player, but he got into and
he arrived in 2019. So that's
the whole thing
backs up the
started
point.
when Ed Ogeron went to sleep at the wheel, and they didn't advise him very well academically, and then he got in some trouble. And then, he's also had injuries. He's just had a really star-crossed career. But they've been playing without him for a long time, though. So, I still think they're going to be fine. They got the transfer from Notre Dame at running back that Coach Kelly recruited. They've still got Josh Williams, who's the guy that came out of nowhere last year to be a program guy that was a former walk-on that became their leading rusher. They're fine. I mean, they've got they've still got a talented running back room. And if they get Emery back, should get him back at some point. It'll be a bonus. But it's just one of those things where, I mean, it's always been something, man. It's not the Arik Gilbert situation where he's going to end up with a serial number or whatever. But still, I mean, it's
so
one
what
of those
intrigues you most about that game, though? Why is that
because
your favorite
I just think
game?
both teams are on the up. I mean, you got year 2 for Coach Kelly, year 4 for Mike Norvell. Last year, I thought LSU was going to trounce these dudes, even though it was Kelly's first year, just because I felt like Ed Ogeron, the one thing he could do is recruit, so he left enough good players. I know they had guys leaving the portal. I knew they had guys get injured, but they still had enough talent at LSU. If you know that program, if you know that state, and Brian Kelly being the proven coach that he is and was, I just felt like they would hit the ground running and they would finish in the top 2 in the West, which they did. But and it was in New Orleans, so I just thought, and what I'd seen out of Norvell in 2 years was not great. It was
3-6, 5-7.
Yeah, 2
in his
losing
first
seasons.
2
So
campaigns.
I'm thinking, I know he's added a bunch of portal guys, but I'm still expecting LSU to roll here, and it didn't happen. LSU lost Mason Smith, which I think kind of shell-shocked him in the first series. And then Matt House was a new DC. Harold Perkins hadn't become Harold Perkins yet. And so it was just kind of a perfect storm, and LSU made just enough mistakes to lose the game. And Florida State tried to give it to them, too, because Florida State should have won it comfortably, but there was some buffoonery going on at the end, coaching-wise, but then they got lucky because LSU missed the extra point. But again,
Mike Norvell's digging Florida State out of what was a very, very deep hole. I mean, he's very, very deep hole.
I still think LSU's got more talent, like 1 through 85.
Right.
But I just think if Florida State can keep this close late in the fourth quarter, they can find a way to win it. But it's going to be, I think, the best game of the weekend. I've got 28-24 Florida State, but it wouldn't shock me at all if LSU won. But I like the Noles here on the neutral field, but having, I think, at least a 50-50 crowd, maybe a little 60-40 Florida State. I still think LSU will travel well. Luckily, weather is not going to, like a hurricane's not going to affect it. But I still think it's going to be a hell of a game. And it's two teams that have playoff aspirations. I think Florida State, if they could win this game, the ACC is a lot weaker than the SEC, but they could set themselves up for a playoff run. Now, if they lose it, they're not out of it, but
margin for error goes away.
Basically, you got to run the table in the ACC.
Is Florida State like Tennessee though in terms of they won 10 games last year? They went 10-3. Did Florida State? If Florida State gets 8-9 wins this year, while it may look like a step back, that's still a progress.
You
for
win
Florida
9
State.
games and have a chance to win 10. It's huge for Florida State because of the whale dung he took over from Willie the Fired, who's now been fired.
He's like
again.
a transfer portal quarterback, isn't he? Willie Taggart.
He was at FAU, got fired. Now I think he's the running backs coach for the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, he was at Western Kentucky, then he was at Oregon.
Should have stayed there. He went to Oregon.
And he was at
he went 7-5 at Oregon. It probably would have got worse from there. I think basically Willie was in a good spot at Western Kentucky in his alma mater, and sometimes you decide to make moves, and who could blame him? I mean, you're going to Oregon with a lot more resources, but the problem is sometimes you move up, and then you're like Ed Ogeron, and you get further and further over your head.
Western Kentucky, South Florida, Oregon, Florida State, and then Florida Atlantic.
I'll just say this. I've watched.
His career record is 71-80.
Yeah, and then I know we're about to go to break before we hit Matt Moscona, but I'll just say this. I watched Brian Kelly, some of his press conference yesterday, and I watched Ed Ogeron's. It's just like The Blind Side with Philip Fulmer and Nick Saban, where they compared Fulmer to the mayor of Mayberry, Mayor Stoner, and Nick Saban to the president. Same thing when you're looking at Ed Ogeron and Brian Kelly. It's a complete 180, man.
Oh, hey, Matt Moscona will join us. Tell the Truth Thursday.
It was like Fred Flintstone, and then and then watching, basically, Brian Kelly's like the mayor of Baton Rouge.
Let's get to a break.
That's a good thing.
Matt Moscona will fill us in on all the LSU
or a senator
happenings
or something.
Coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Really is going to be a beautiful day across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We drop into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. More cloud cover Friday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but it does not look like the day or the evening is going to be a complete wash. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the upper 60s through the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck at 72 and Meridian. Sounds like that one may end up being an injury. Got Parkway northbound at Hobbs Road, 565 eastbound near Research Park, southbound Parkway between Drake and Airport. All of those are reported as no injury, so they should move quickly. Popeye's $6 Big Box is back with 2 pieces of hand-breaded signature chicken or 8 chicken nuggets, 2 sides, and a buttermilk biscuit. Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, 8:35 on a Thursday morning. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Give us a follow on Facebook and Twitter. You said before the break that the most interesting game to you comes on Sunday. That is when LSU will take on Florida State. And of week one, it is the only top 10 matchup that we have in college football. Neutral site game in Orlando. And last year we thought LSU was going to come into this one, take care of business, I think, inside the Superdome there in New Orleans. This year, a much different feeling not because of the location change, but because Florida State has vastly improved under Mike Norvell.
And LSU vastly improved last year, and then could be even better this year.
Right.
And so that's what makes the game so fascinating. You got a fourth-year coach, Mike Norvell. You got a second-year coach, and certainly Brian Kelly, and that's why I'm fascinated to see it in Orlando. And I know our next guest will be there. He hosts After Further Review weekdays from 3 to 6 on ESPN Baton Rouge, also in New Orleans, Alexandria, now Lafayette, Lake Charles, all over the state of Louisiana. He's one of our favorite guys. We last spoke with him in Nashville at SEC Media Days, and it's Matt Moscona. Matt, welcome back to Huntsville. How are you?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Doing great.
Yeah, this is going to be a big game, man. It's my game of the week. I love the matchup. I know Brian Kelly, I was listening to the press conference earlier this week. I know he announced that there's not going to be any John Emery, but it's like I told Scott, this kid's been through so much injury-wise, academically, but they haven't had him for so long. I don't think this makes an impact in the game.
Yeah, John's a good player. He was a former 5-star, and he's real dynamic. It's just the odd part, guys, is LSU's had to get used to not having John Emery more than they've had him during his career. He missed the entire 2021 season with an academic issue. He missed 2 games last year at the beginning of the season with an academic issue, and now bye, Drew. Sorry, my little boy's getting out of car.
No problem. Have a good day, Drew. Love you, man.
He's got a good name.
Yes.
No, but and the other thing too, guys, is LSU's got 8 scholarship running backs, which is really we almost joke about it because it's such an excess, and I don't think they planned it that way. But they're likely not going to have Armani Goodwin in this game due to injury, and now John Emery's out. But they brought in Logan Diggs, the Notre Dame transfer. Josh Williams was their best running back a year ago. He's back. Noah Kane, the Penn State transfer, is back. They brought in 2 good freshmen. They've got enough there. It's so unfortunate for John, but at that position, I think LSU's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously the big story around LSU has been Mason Smith also not being a part of this team on game one. And I believe it was you. I mean, you even highlighted that they even tried to get a week 0 game scheduled at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, so the way this went down, so when I first saw the story break, I was like, how in the world can you possibly have improper benefits in the NIL era? Well, the way the story went is that Mason and Kayshon Boutte participated in autograph signing, guys, literally like 3 weeks before NIL went live in July of 2021.
Oh, my God.
So like they got to campus. It was, I mean, look, there's a lot of questions. We can go back to that era of LSU football when Ed Ogeron was the coach and say, how in the world do you not have structure in place to let these guys know, like, you can just wait 3 weeks and do this perfectly legally? But anyway, so Mason was going to serve the suspension a year ago, but, of course, tore his ACL in the opener, and so he missed the season. So he couldn't serve the suspension while it was out, so they're making him serve the suspension in the season opener this year. LSU did try to schedule a week 0 game. They tried to move the Grambling game from week 2 to week 0. They couldn't work out the logistics, so ultimately Mason Smith's got to miss this game, and then he'll be back week 2 against Grambling.
Well, Matt, I don't know if you're going to agree with this, but as we went to break, I compared Ed Ogeron to Fred Flintstone and then Brian Kelly to the governor of Louisiana. Is that an apt comparison?
I don't know, man. Brian Kelly might be a little more astute than the governor of Louisiana.
Well, I'm not insulted. I'm just mean he's a politician and a polished guy instead of Fred Flintstone.
It might depend on who you ask.
Yeah, I know.
But I do understand the comparison. But Brian Kelly's got a history. He's got a background in politics.
He does.
He worked running political campaigns before he became a coach. So he's polished, man. He's
prepared.
He's obviously. Yes, he's very impressive. It's not a mistake that he's won everywhere he's been for as long as he's been a coach. It's just very obvious there's an adult in the room.
So, what has impressed you about LSU this preseason that you could say, okay, look, they're going down to Orlando. I wouldn't be surprised if LSU comes away with a win because of what I've seen so far in the preseason.
Yes, Scott. I mean, the best way to say it would be the contrast to a year ago where, man, they were still, remember, they turned over like 40 roster spots a year ago. So at this point a year ago, guys, like, Brian Kelly reminded us of this week. At this point last year, they hadn't even settled on their starting 5 offensive line. I mean, Garrett Dellinger started that game at center for LSU. He had never snapped the ball in a competitive football game. I mean, they're just so much more steady and stable and deep and experienced and familiar. You know, Jaden Daniels was making his first start at LSU with a new OC and new teammates and everything. But if I look at the roster, guys, the place where LSU is undeniably better, deeper, more experienced is on both lines of scrimmage. That's even without Mason Smith. Like, don't misunderstand that. Yeah. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts when it comes to Mason Smith. You can't replace him. They don't have another Mason Smith. But Mekhi Wingo was an All-American last year, and they went and got 4 defensive tackles in the transfer portal, and they've recruited well at that position. So they're good on the defensive line, even without Mason Smith. Would they be better with him? Of course. And the offensive line is, I think, a real strength on this team. They've got 2 elite NFL-caliber tackles. Everyone on the interior has been at least a 3-year starter. They're really good at the line of scrimmage, guys, and they got a veteran quarterback. I mean, there's a reason there's a lot of people high on LSU, and it's justified. They're deep and talented and experienced. I mean, they look like what you would expect LSU to look like.
Very interesting what they did with the number 7 with Will Campbell.
Yeah, so for those that don't know,
right.
LSU's got 2 jersey traditions. And for the record, guys, you can put a poop emoji on your jersey. I don't care. I don't care what your number is or anything like that. You know what I mean? Just go play. But if it matters to the players, then I guess that's cool. They have the 18 and they have the 7. So 18 is kind of a leadership position, and then 7 is the playmaker. That was, it started when Patrick Peterson gave it to Tyrann Mathieu, and then they just kept kind of passing it down. And so Will Campbell's the first lineman to get it. So he'll wear a 7 patch on his jersey. He'll keep the number 66. But, I had a former SEC quarterback tell me yesterday, said I was watching film of Will Campbell, and said, I'll clean it up based on what he said, but he basically said that is the most skilled pass blocker I've ever seen come through this program. The guy's about to play the first game of his sophomore year. I mean, Louisiana guys doesn't always produce great offensive linemen. Louisiana produces great defensive linemen and skill positions.
Right.
Yeah, about every decade you might get a Cam Robinson, a Lyle Collins that the state will produce. Will Campbell's better than all of them, man. He's a guy that you're going to look, in a year and a half and say that's the guy that's a top 10 draft pick, provided he stays healthy. So a little different putting the 7 on a lineman, but but he's a heck of a player, man.
Speaking of top 10 picks, Harold Perkins is well on
he
his
didn't even
way.
play this game last year, really.
Yeah, he's
Huge
well on
factor.
his way to being a top 10 pick, if not even better. How much of an impact and how much of an impact will that front 7 have on Florida State Saturday? Or, it says Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, Scott, they have to, because if there is a giant question that LSU has, the most obvious glaring question is secondary, which is weird for LSU, right?
Yeah.
The DBU moniker and all that sort of stuff, but the secondary is really a giant question mark. Drew, you're right. Perkins didn't really play in this game a year ago. Harold Perkins didn't emerge until LSU got blown out by Tennessee. Then the next week against Ole Miss is when he really started playing. So you're talking about the beginning or middle of October when Harold Perkins, which is amazing considering he had 12.5 tackles for loss and 8.5 sacks, and he did it basically half a season. But yeah, he's the gigantic X factor in this game, guys. So last year they played Harold Perkins at the jack position, so that's that sort of outside linebacker. He's just rushing off the edge. They moved him to inside backer. He's an off-ball linebacker. He and Omar Spates, but they're going to move him around all around the defense. And Scott, I think you nailed it. He's got to be able to affect Jordan Travis, because last year LSU did a really good job stopping the run, but they could not get off the field on third down. Florida State was 9 of 10 in the first half on third down, and they ended up 11 of 17 for the game on third down. So that's what the game was a year ago. People remember that blocked extra point at the end.
Yeah.
But really, it was a miserably played game by both. Both teams played terribly. It was a tough watch. But both teams got better as the year went along, and there's a reason I think they're both top 10 this year. But LSU defensively has just got to get off the field on third down, and I think Harold Perkins is a huge part of that.
And then Jaden Daniels was early in his career at LSU. He's got a year under his belt now. We want to see growth out of him. And it sounded, Coach Kelly sounded very confident as well in the receiver corps.
Well, the receivers are an unquestioned strength of this offense. They signed 2 5-stars in this recent class, and those guys are running 6th and 7th on the depth chart right now. And then, you guys are familiar with Aaron Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
He's looked awesome. I don't know if y'all talked about this at all. If Aaron Anderson had been healthy for Alabama last year, that fundamentally changes that offense, because so much of that year was just Bryce Young and Jahmyr Gibbs. If you put Aaron Anderson on that offense and give him a legit target, that's revisionist history now. But anyway, yes, LSU's receivers look great. And Jaden is, I think because he's not bombastic, people sort of overlook just how good he was a year ago. Guys, he had the 5th highest passing total in LSU history last year. And he ran for almost 900 yards. He was magnificent. 17 touchdowns, 3 picks. Jaden Daniels' ability to make plays and steady that offense is why they won 10 games and beat Bama and all that stuff. So now you got a guy coming back for a 5th year who started every game in college he's ever played in. It's, if he could take that step to 3,500 pass yards and 1,000 rush yards, you're talking about a team that should win the West, and Jaden Daniels should be in New York for the Heisman presentation. If he doesn't, if there's a regression or anything like that, then there's real questions around this team, because you expect that guy in his second year in this system, who is the unquestioned leader of the team, to be able to take that next step as a second year at LSU. And if LSU is going to be a title contender, he's got to build upon a great year last year and make it a special year this year.
No question, but they do have quality depth at quarterback. Garrett Nussmeier has played well in his stead. He did against Georgia last year in the SEC Championship. And I can guarantee you this, too, and I'm sure you guys talked about it on After Further Review. Nick Saban was quoted as saying there was one guy around here, as he said, that, we really wanted to stay, and it was Aaron Anderson. I can guarantee you that. That's the dude that he didn't want to lose, and I'm not going to be surprised if he has a great career now at LSU, that he's come back home, no question. But finally, what's the 2 keys or so for LSU to get a win Sunday?
Yeah, I keep saying Saturday too.
Yeah, we're so used to it. Come on.
It just happened. Yeah. Guys, look, LSU secondary. I mentioned it. It's just a gigantic concern. Sage Ryan has been playing safety his whole career. They're trying him at outside corner just because they need somebody out there they feel like they can trust opposite Zy Alexander. Guys, Florida State's going to score points. I just think LSU's got to go out and score them. I know that sounds so fundamental, but I think back to, that 2020 Bama team. They were 71st in the country in pass defense.
That's right.
It didn't matter because they scored 50 on everybody. It was the same with 2019 LSU. They were 59th in the country in pass defense. It didn't matter because Burrow hung 50 on everybody. So I really think that the key for LSU Sunday and all year is not, you got to get production out of that secondary. It's going to be more, they just got to hang on defensively. Because if this offense is as good as I think they can be, they're just going to outscore everyone they play. So, I think you're looking at a game Sunday that's probably in the 30s, where both offenses kind of get going. So I think it's for LSU, protect the football and keep scoring because you're probably going to have to.
All right, well, good stuff, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, we always appreciate it, man. We appreciate Drew making a little cameo, and you have a great rest of the day. Have a great After Further Review. Thank you for the time.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
Let's get that final break in. Tomorrow's headline is going to wrap us up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We're beginning to wind things down. We've got some new accidents, but they're all no injury. Governors West and Madison Boulevard, County Line and Old Highway 20, Parkway and Hobbs Road northbound, 565 eastbound at Research Park. One injury type, 72 in Meridian, still may be trying to clear it. Snelling needs a junior purchasing agent, a temporary receiving clerk, and an admin with accounting experience. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Injuries at work happen all the time in Alabama. So do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. If you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, I want you to call my good friends at Pond Lehocky Giordano. That's Pond Lehocky, Alabama's injury law firm. They got your back just like they've got mine. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall is the ultimate shopping experience for Alabama and Auburn fans. Located right here in Huntsville, come shop the best selection of officially licensed apparel, hats, Yeti, accessories, and gifts. Whether you're heading to the spring game or shopping graduation gifts or just love to show your school pride daily, come see us at Alumni Hall. University students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in store, and you can earn cash back with our Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in Bridge Street Shopping Center, or shop anytime at alumnihall.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
You're starting to see more and more of them on the road in Huntsville, Madison, and North Alabama. And we've got them in stock, on the ground, ready for you to test drive. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm talking about the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. Come experience the torque, exhilaration, and technology of our all-electric 2023 Mach-E, and you'll see why folks are leasing and buying them as fast as we can get them. And that's not to mention you may qualify for a $7,500 tax credit. Woody Anderson Ford is offering financing as low as 2.9% for 60 months, plus $3,000 in bonus cash on the 2023 Mustang Mach-E. Or you can lease one for $449 a month. And we've also got 23 Bronco Sports for $399 a month. These are 36-month leases with $52.71 on Mach-E, $37.09 on Bronco Sport due at signing. Zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. These offers end September 4th. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come on in today. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air back in studio with us. And Thomas, those temperatures in the summertime starting to rise once again. You want to make sure you're not left out in the heat. You want some cold AC, give Talent Heating and Air a call.
That's right. If you give us a call, we can generally get out there the same day. So we pride ourselves on the same-day service.
And what's that number?
256-503-4490.
And if those AC units are giving you the blues and you've already called someone else, never fear, give Talent Heating and Air a call because you guys can still come out.
That's right. We do free second opinions on major repairs and quotes. A lot of times we save our customers thousands of dollars and additionally get their units repaired before the other guy could even get started.
And that number for Talent Heating and Air is?
256-503-4490.
And if you can't give Talent Heating and Air a call, you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
Schedule all your appointment service calls there. Talent Heating and Air. Give them a call or find them online today.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Atlanta Braves keep doing
Atlanta Braves things.
Yeah, Orlando Arcia's 2-run home run last night gives the Braves 250 home runs. That sets a Braves single-season franchise record for team home runs. And we still have plenty of baseball left to play.
250, right?
Yeah, they got 250 now. So they set the mark last night against the Rockies. There's still plenty of baseball left to play, so the Braves are going to shatter that 250 mark. Question is, where do they end up at as far as team home runs go?
What a turnaround. Remember, we were joking about Ozuna hitting about 081 early in the year, and now he's got 30 bombs, and I believe he's hitting over 260.
And you were giving him a really hard time.
I was getting ready to release him. I was like, he gone. I mean, you know. Ozuna is up to 267.
He's batting 267.
I mean, when you were 081 at one point, like 3 for 40 or something, I mean, good Lord.
You were writing him off.
I was, man, up into the sunset. But I was like, they would have had to eat a lot of money. And Raisel Iglesias has had a huge turnaround, too, since he got off to a slow start, getting the season started late from the closer role. But, man, and Vines, what a debut for the Rook. 25 years old. His mom's crying in the stands. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, with 5 strikeouts, 82 pitches. Perhaps they found their 5th starter until Kyle Wright can get back.
Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah.
31st home run.
Was it 31 now?
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay, that tied the franchise record. 2 batters later, Arcia gives them the record. Atlanta is still on pace to set the Major League Baseball record for most home runs in a season, which was set by the 19 Twins. 2019
Ozuna,
Twins
31 bombs, 75 RBIs. He still got a shot at 100.
Yeah, so the Twins had 307 home runs. That's the Major League record.
2019.
Yes, Braves have 250, okay? The Braves would finish at 309 home runs on this current pace.
What you call that 2019 is before Joe Biden.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care